Thump. The ball hit the steel post so hard it rang like a bell, high, metallic, echoing across the concrete corridors of the Los Angeles Youth Center. David Beckham stopped mid-stride on the ramp, phone still in his hand, sentence cut in half. "What was that?" he said, head turning. Beside him, a young coach in an academy windbreaker flinched, then exhaled a sheepish laugh. "Backfield. Someone's still out there," she said. Her name tag read Coach Maya Torres, mid-20s, bright eyes, a little worn around the edges from long days and longer dreams. Thump, clatter, clank. There it was again. The sound ricocheted off corrugated metal, down the chain link into the small evening, the kind of echo that carried stubbornness in it. Beckham tilted his head. "That's the post." "Yeah," Maya said. "Happens when you miss by a mile or get almost perfect." She glanced over her shoulder toward the sound. "I'm guessing it's not perfect." They had just wrapped a meeting for Soccer for All, the community program he'd helped fund, uniform budgets, travel scholarships, the unglamorous backbone of youth sport. The plan was to head out the south gate, a few photos with the maintenance crew, then a ride downtown for a donor dinner. He should have been moving. He wasn't. Out past the bleachers, the sun laid a sheet of late-day gold across the practice field, catching swirling dust in a slow waltz. On the far corner, a skinny kid in a too-big jersey chased a ball that had rolled all the way to the fencing. He hustled back to his spot, planted the ball, stepped away. No one else was there. No music, no teammates, no parents. Just the kid, the goal, the wind. "Who's that?" Beckham asked. Maya followed his eyes. "Ethan Ward, freshman, reserve winger. He sat the whole friendly this morning." She winced. Again. A third strike. Thump, and the ball pinballed off the post, skidding into the side netting before wobbling to a stop. The sound carried something different this time, less luck, more intention. Beckham narrowed his eyes. "Bench all game," he said softly. It wasn't a question. Maya nodded. "He's not strong, not fast. Gets knocked off the ball easy. The older boys tease him. He keeps showing up anyway." She hesitated, then added as if confessing, "He has this thing though." "What thing?" She looked almost embarrassed to say it in front of David Beckham. "His free kick. Sometimes it curls weird. Like the ball listens to him. Other times it's a balloon. We can't get him minutes to build confidence, and without confidence." She let the sentence trail off, a coach's unfinished math. Beckham watched the kid line up again. The run-up was short. The plant foot came in neat but cautious. The strike, he could hear it more than see it, caught the ball just a hair too high. The shot arced, flattened, then veered. It didn't scream power, it negotiated with the air. For a breath, it was breathtaking. Then it kissed the upright and skittered wide. Damn, Beckham thought, the way a craftsman recognizes a raw edge in a beautiful piece of wood. Not failure. Potential unsanded. Sometimes, he said almost to himself, talent hides where no one's looking. Maya shoved her hands into her jacket pockets. "I try to look," she said. "But 27 kids, 2 fields for working balls, and I'm not you." He smiled at that, not because of the compliment but because of the honest fatigue in her voice. He remembered another field, another twilight, another boy who wasn't the biggest or the fastest, only the most stubborn with a wall and a dream. "Give me 2 minutes," he said. Maya blinked. "You're going out there?" "Don't worry," Beckham said, slipping his phone into his pocket and adjusting the brim of his cap. "I'll behave." They cut down through the tunnel of bleachers where shadows stacked like books, then stepped onto the brittle edge of grass. The air smelled of cut turf and chain link and the faint syrup of a food truck 2 blocks over. A light evening wind pressed the flag against its pole with a soft hiss. Ethan didn't notice them at first. He was busy fixing something invisible, counting off the same steps, tapping the laces of a shoe, squaring to the goal, closing one eye at the target as if it were a distant star. He talked to himself, a whisper against the fence, in, out, shoulder down. Beckham stopped 5 yards behind the boy and didn't say a word. Ethan's foot met the ball with a crisp thud. This time the flight was truer, low, rising, flattening into a snake that slid right of the wall, then tried to come back home. It hit the stanchion where post meets crossbar. Cut. The sound was pure, almost musical. Ethan sagged, hands on his knees. "You have got to be kidding me," he said to the universe. "That one almost apologized on the way past," Beckham said. Ethan whirled. His eyes widened, then darted, cap, beard, scruff, the unmistakable calm in how the man stood on a field. Recognition didn't come as a scream, it arrived like a tremor that kept rising. "Wait," Ethan breathed. "Are you?" "Just someone who's missed more free kicks than he cares to admit." Beckham said, holding up both hands with a grin as if to lower the temperature a degree or two. And someone who heard your ball hit that post 3 times from a parking lot. Maya stepped up, a reassuring anchor. Ethan, this is Mr. Beckham. He sat in on the coach's meeting. I know, Ethan said, voice cracking. Yeah, sir. Mr. Beckham. David. He seemed to run out of nouns. Beckham nodded at the spot where the ball still waited. May I? Ethan scrambled to fetch the ball, wiped grass stains off it with the tail of his jersey, then set it back like a ceremony. It's a little flat, he said, mortified. The wind likes a conversation more than a shout, Beckham said. He took 4 slow steps back and to the left, and without fanfare jogged into the strike. He didn't wallop it, he persuaded it. The ball curled not as a trick but as a surrender to physics, a quiet agreement between leather and air. It bent over a cone that pretended to be a defender and slid into the upper side netting. Ethan made a noise that was half laugh, half gasp. It's not about power, Beckham said, turning back. It's about belief in your line. The wall is a rumor. The wind is a partner. Your plant foot, he pointed to the scuffed toe of Ethan's sneaker, is your signature. Where you place it tells the ball who you are. Maya folded her arms, smiling. She'd seen videos, drills, YouTube breakdowns, but there was something else here. The room between instruction and permission. Ethan swallowed. Coach says I'm too light. I get pushed off the ball. In games I feel small. That's their game, Beckham said gently. This, he tapped the grass beside the ball, can be your game. You don't need shoulders to bend air. You need rhythm, breath, a little courage when everyone is watching. He eyed the line again, then looked at Ethan. Show me yours. Ethan backed away, counting under his breath. 2 steps. A pause as he tugged the hem of his too long sleeve. He ran in, planted, struck. The ball climbed too soon, but halfway to the goal it caught a seam and dived. It missed, but the shape was honest. Again, Beckham said. Ethan did. Then again. And again. With each strike, Beckham said very little. Lower the shoulder. Don't stamp the plant. See the end of the flight before the start. Maya chimed in with small cues she knew would stick. Breathe before you move. Quiet feet. After the 6th try, Ethan leaned on his thighs, panting. What if the wind's wrong? He asked, eyes fixed on the goal. The wind isn't wrong, Beckham said. We are. Or our timing is. Or our nerve. He smiled. Sometimes the ball needs to know you trust it to come back. Ethan nodded like he was filing the words in a place he would visit later, alone. The field lights flicked on with a relay's low buzz. A chill climbed out of the gopher holes. The donor dinner in Beckham's calendar nudged his phone with a polite vibration he ignored. Maya checked the time, then cleared her throat. We should lock up in 10. Ethan stepped up for one last try. He closed his eyes for a heartbeat, and Beckham saw his lips move, please or now or come on. Then the strike, cleaner, sooner, braver. The ball curved, not dramatically, not for a highlight reel, just enough to kiss the inside netting. It wasn't perfect. It was his. Ethan froze. Then he laughed, a surprised, out-of-his-own-mouth laugh, and raised both hands like the stadium existed only in his head. Again tomorrow, Beckham said, as if the decision had been made somewhere he couldn't see. Ethan blinked. You'll be here? If you are, Beckham replied. Maya's eyebrows climbed. We have early trainings, but I can unlock at 7, she said, quick to build a bridge. If that helps. It does, Beckham said. He turned to Ethan. Bring your courage and maybe a slightly less flat ball. Ethan grinned, cheeks pink with the kind of hope that makes you look younger and older at the same time. Yes, sir. They walked back toward the tunnel. As they reached the shadow of the bleachers, Maya slowed. Thank you, she said quietly. He's one of the ones you worry about losing. Not because he'll quit, but because the noise might drown him. Beckham looked once more at the corner of the field where Ethan was retrieving stray balls, stacking cones neatly like a ritual against chaos. Sometimes the noise becomes the metronome, he said, if someone stands near enough to keep time. In the parking lot, the downtown skyline caught the last orange seam of sunset. The phone in Beckham's pocket buzzed again, another invitation to another room where people would say the right words into the right microphones. He'd go. He always did. But as he opened the car door, the sound rose behind him one more time. Thump. The echo was different now. Not a complaint. A promise. Beckham paused with one foot in the car and looked back over the roof toward the practice field that belonged to nobody and therefore to everyone. He let the door rest against his hip and smiled to himself. Small, private, certain. He would be back at 7. The next morning broke clear and quiet, the kind of Los Angeles dawn that carried the scent of dew over cut grass and distant asphalt. The floodlights around the community field still hummed faintly, refusing to surrender to daylight. Beckham arrived early before the groundskeeper, before the noise. He carried a thermos of black coffee and a small duffel slung over one shoulder. Inside were two things that had followed him around the world: his old, scuffed boots and a ball he'd kept since his last professional match. Both had survived more flights and locker rooms than he could count, and both still meant something only he could explain. The gate creaked open. Maya was already there, hoodie up, clipboard tucked under her arm. "You weren't kidding about 7, she said, smiling through a yawn. "Didn't want to miss my first class," Beckham replied, scanning the empty pitch. "Where's our student?" As if on cue, a voice called, "Coach." Ethan jogged in through the side path, breath puffing in the cool air. His jersey was the same, but his shoes were newer, still cheap but clean. He held a pump in one hand. "I fixed the ball," he said, a little too fast, the words overlapping. "It wasn't balanced right yesterday." Beckham crouched and took the ball, pressed it between his palms. The firmness was right, the spin truer. He tossed it gently back. "Perfect," he said. "Today we make it listen." Maya took a seat on the low bleacher, scribbling attendance notes, but her eyes stayed on them. The famous man and the forgotten boy sharing the same stretch of turf. They started with silence. Beckham insisted on it. No shouting, no drills, no commands. Just sound, the rustle of wind, the scrape of cleats, the whisper of laces meeting leather. "Every field has a rhythm," Beckham said. "You have to find it before you strike." He pointed to the goal. "Yesterday you hit the post because you were fighting the wind. Let's make it work for you." Ethan nodded, studying the flags at the corner. The breeze came steady from the west. Beckham gestured to a cone near the penalty arc. "There. Aim for that cone, not the net. Let the wind take it home." Ethan stepped back, counted his paces, exhaled. The first shot sliced too wide. The second barely left the ground. On the third, Beckham stopped him mid-run. "Don't rush your breath," he said. "You start running before your mind's ready." Ethan tried again. Thump. The ball curved, slow and clean, kissed the air, then dipped right into the side net. Beckham smiled. "Better?" Ethan's grin spread so wide it looked like light. "You think I can really do it in a game?" "You just did," Beckham said. "The stands don't change the wind." By mid-morning, other players started drifting in, laughing, loud, unaware of what had been happening since sunrise. Some slowed when they saw Beckham, whispering to each other in disbelief. "Dude, is that?" "Yeah, it's him." Ethan froze. The laughter that had always made him small suddenly surrounded him again. One boy smirked. "Careful, Ward. You'll break your leg trying to be Beckham Jr." Beckham's voice cut through before Ethan could shrink. "At least he's trying." The group went silent. Beckham walked over, still calm but his gaze sharp enough to make the teasing boy step back. "You know what separates great players from loud ones?" he asked. "One keeps practicing when no one's watching." No one dared answer. Beckham gestured toward Ethan. "He was here at sunrise. Were you?" The kids shuffled awkwardly, mumbling excuses. Beckham didn't scold further. He just clapped Ethan on the shoulder. "Let's keep going." As they resumed, Maya caught the subtle shift, Ethan's shoulders straighter, his voice louder when counting steps. For the first time, he wasn't apologizing for existing on the field. After practice, they sat by the goal, watching clouds slide by like slow ships. Ethan unwrapped a sandwich from a paper bag. Beckham sipped what was left of his coffee. "My mom thinks I'm crazy," Ethan said quietly. "She says there's no future in this, that I should just focus on grades." Beckham smiled softly. "Mothers always want safety. Dreams are never safe." He paused. "What do you want?" Ethan hesitated. "I want to feel like I belong on the field." "That's not a small thing," Beckham said. "When I was your age, I didn't want to be famous. I just wanted to hit the ball the way I imagined it in my head. The fame came later." He picked up the ball, rolled it between his palms. "You already have the touch. What you need now is the courage to keep showing it." Ethan looked at him, eyes wide. "Will you really come again tomorrow?" Beckham chuckled. "Only if you promise to beat that post more than I do." The next few days unfolded like pages in a quiet story. Beckham returned each morning, sometimes before dawn, sometimes just after. They trained in the hush before the city woke, the sun crawling higher as shots grew cleaner. He corrected Ethan's stance, his timing, even his silence. He taught him that the moment before the strike was sacred, the pause when every doubt gathered and belief had to speak louder. On the 5th day, Beckham finally stepped back. "Tomorrow you rest," he said. "Then play." Ethan blinked. "You mean?" "The coach's selection meeting is tonight," Beckham said. "I made a call." Ethan's jaw fell open. "You talked to Coach Maya?" Beckham grinned. "Let's say I gave her a little nudge." Ethan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "What if I mess up?" "Then you'll learn something I didn't until too late," Beckham said. "That missing is also part of believing." That night, Ethan sat on his bed, ball at his feet, phone buzzing with messages from teammates. The team list had gone out. Ethan Ward, starting 11. His mother peeked through the door. "You made it?" He nodded, not trusting his voice. She smiled faintly. "Just don't get hurt," she said, and left the door half open. Ethan turned back to the ball. He whispered into the quiet room, "Don't let me fall short now." Outside, the wind picked up, brushing through the cracked window, soft, almost like an answer. Meanwhile, Beckham sat in his hotel room downtown, scrolling through messages he barely read. The city below hummed with light and noise, but his thoughts were still on that field, on the sound that had pulled him from routine into something real. He replayed Ethan's last strike in his head, the line, the dip, the whisper of belief in motion. It wasn't the prettiest goal he'd ever seen, but it might have been the purest. He leaned back, closed his eyes, and smiled. Tomorrow, he thought, the wind will choose its side. Clang. The ball slammed against the cold metal post, echoing across the empty high school field like a gunshot in the night. The sound startled a flock of pigeons resting on the bleachers. They scattered into the twilight sky, wings fluttering above the field where one boy still stood, alone. Ethan was drenched in sweat. His jersey clung to his back, soaked from the extra hour he'd spent practicing after everyone else had gone home. He lined up another ball, took 3 steps back, inhaled deeply, and whispered under his breath, "Come on, curve this time." He ran up, struck the ball, and watched it spin beautifully, until once again it veered off, missing the top corner by inches. He lowered his head, shoulders slumping. The sound of his own breathing filled the air. Everyone else had left after practice. Even the janitor had turned off half the lights, but Ethan stayed. He stayed because he couldn't let go of the dream, not yet. From the far side of the field, footsteps echoed on concrete. A figure appeared, walking slowly past the bleachers. David Beckham had been inside the small office, reviewing notes with the young coach, Matt Lewis. He had no reason to stay longer. This was just another visit, part of his quiet mentoring project with local schools, but something had caught his ear. That sound. That raw, metallic clang of a football hitting the post. He knew that sound better than anyone. "Still out there?" Beckham asked as he stepped closer to Matt, who was gathering cones. Matt shrugged. "Yeah, Ethan Miller. Kid never leaves on time. Sweetheart, but he's not starter material. Small frame, not much speed. Probably just a fan trying too hard." Beckham didn't answer. His eyes stayed fixed on the boy, the way he adjusted the ball, his balance, the silent focus before each kick. There was something pure there. Something that didn't need talent yet, only heart. He remembered being that boy once at Ridgeway Park, South London. The field smelled of mud and diesel from the nearby road. He'd stayed long after practice, trying to get the perfect curve over and over, until darkness swallowed the posts. Now, half a lifetime later, he was watching his own reflection, in an American kid who refused to quit. As the sky dimmed, Beckham thanked the coach and walked toward his car. But halfway there he stopped. Another clang. Then another. He turned around. Ethan was still going, now limping slightly from fatigue, refusing to quit. Beckham stood by the fence for a moment. He could have left. He could have just smiled, whispered, "Good lad," and gone home. But something inside him said no, not tonight. He pushed open the gate and stepped back onto the field. Ethan didn't notice until Beckham's shadow stretched across the ball. He looked up, panting. His eyes widened. You're David Beckham," he stammered. Beckham smiled. "Sometimes. Tonight I'm just a guy who hates leaving a story unfinished." The boy blinked, unsure what that meant. Beckham pointed at the ball. "You've been hitting the same spot for what, half an hour?" "Maybe more," Ethan admitted. "I just can't get it right. Keeps going straight or wide. It never bends." Beckham knelt beside the ball, his hand brushing the grass. "The ball won't listen until you respect the wind," he said softly. "Respect the wind?" Ethan repeated, confused. Beckham nodded. "Yeah, everyone tries to fight it. Hit harder, aim tighter. But the wind isn't your enemy. It's your dance partner. Learn its rhythm." He stood up, took off his jacket, rolled up his sleeves. "Okay, show me." Ethan swallowed hard. The legend himself, the man whose free kicks made goalkeepers freeze, was standing 10 feet away waiting. He felt his knees tremble. He took 3 steps back, ran forward, and struck the ball. It flew straight, dipping slightly, then hit the net but without curve. Beckham didn't say a word. He walked slowly toward the ball, picked it up, and placed it down again. "Do it again," he said. "But this time don't think about power. Think about the moment the ball leaves your foot, that tiny second when it decides whether it'll fly straight or dance." Ethan nodded. He focused. The sound of the wind filled his ears. He ran up, swing, thud. The ball curved beautifully for the first time that night, spinning left, then curling back toward the post before sliding just inside. Thump. It kissed the net softly. Ethan froze. His mouth opened, eyes wide in disbelief. Beckham's lips curved into a grin. "That's it," he said. "That's what belief sounds like." The boy blinked, tears threatening to fall. "Did I really do that?" Beckham laughed quietly. "You did. Now do it again until it's not luck anymore." They stayed there for nearly an hour. Beckham corrected his stance, adjusted his breathing, showed him how to follow through. Between shots they talked about pressure, about rejection, about how every no can still lead to something greater. "I used to be called too skinny, too soft," Beckham said, eyes distant. "But when people tell you you're not enough, you've got 2 choices: believe them or prove them wrong." Ethan listened, hanging on to every word. "Coach says I'm not physical enough," he admitted. "He says free kicks don't matter if you can't win tackles." Beckham smiled. "He's right. But he's also wrong. Football needs warriors, but it also needs poets. You just have to find your voice." The boy grinned shyly. "A poet, huh? Never thought I'd hear that from Beckham." "Then you haven't met the right Beckham," he replied, winking. As the night deepened, the wind grew colder. The floodlights hummed overhead, casting long shadows across the field. Beckham finally clapped his hands together. "All right, that's enough for tonight. Your legs need rest." Ethan hesitated. "Will you come again?" Beckham looked at him, that same hopeful spark he'd once carried in his own eyes. "Maybe," he said with a smile. "But if not, remember, the wind's your teacher now." He started to walk away, but Ethan called after him. "Thank you, Mr. Beckham." Beckham turned his head, smiling. "Don't thank me yet. Make it count." The next day, at morning practice, something was different. The coach, Matt, was setting up cones when he noticed Ethan already on the field, placing the ball 20 yards from the goal. "Ethan, what are you doing?" "Warm-ups haven't even started." "Just trying something," the boy said. He took a step back, eyes steady. The other players giggled. "Here comes Mr. Practice After Dark again," one joked. But then Ethan ran up and struck. The ball curved, impossibly, flying around the wall and into the net. The laughter stopped. The coach's whistle slipped from his lips. "Do that again," he demanded. Ethan did, this time from farther out. Another perfect curve. Silence filled the field. By the end of practice, Matt called him aside. "Pack your things, kid. You're on the starting lineup for Friday." Ethan stared in disbelief. "Me? Starter?" Matt nodded slowly, still processing what he'd seen. "Whatever you did last night, keep doing it." That Friday, under the bright lights of the state qualifier match, the Lincoln High Lions were tied 1-1 with only seconds left. The referee's whistle blew for a foul, just outside the box. The coach shouted, "Ethan, you're taking it." The crowd murmured. Some laughed. A substitute taking the most important kick of the season? Ethan placed the ball. The world around him faded. In his mind, he heard Beckham's voice. "The ball won't listen until you respect the wind." He felt it, the wind brushing his cheek, shifting slightly from the right. He adjusted. "Step back. Breathe." The whistle blew. Ethan ran up, swing, thud. The ball curved majestically, kissing the air, spinning past the outstretched fingers of the goalkeeper, and slammed into the top corner. The stadium exploded. Ethan fell to his knees, overwhelmed. His teammates rushed toward him, lifting him up, chanting his name. In the stands, a few rows up, Beckham sat quietly, wearing a cap and hoodie. He smiled faintly. "Every curve tells a story," he whispered to himself. After the match, reporters swarmed the field. The local news called it the miracle kick. When asked how he'd done it, Ethan simply said, "Someone once told me to talk to the wind." Beckham left before anyone noticed him. Outside the stadium, he paused for a moment, looking at the night sky, listening to the faint echo of the crowd chanting the boy's name. A gust of wind brushed against him. He smiled, whispering softly, "He heard you." Then he got into his car, turned the key, and drove away into the dark, leaving behind not just a victory, but a legacy quietly reborn in the heart of one young dreamer. The morning sun spilled over the glass towers of Los Angeles, painting the streets gold. The city was alive, horns blaring, sneakers on asphalt, kids yelling across playgrounds. But inside the modest community soccer field of Eastwood, the world moved differently. The grass was uneven, the lines faint, and the goalposts rusted, but laughter filled the air. "All right, one more round," Ethan's voice echoed. His whistle blew, and a dozen kids in blue and red jerseys sprinted toward the ball, their shouts mixing with the wind. He smiled, arms crossed, watching them chase dreams just like he once did. The years had changed him, not the fame, not the trophies he earned after that unforgettable free kick in high school, but time. Time had turned that quiet, insecure boy into a mentor, someone who believed more in what others could become than in what he already was. One kid in particular, a small, skinny boy with oversized cleats, caught his eye. The boy's name was Miles. Every time he missed a kick, he clenched his fists, fighting frustration. Ethan recognized that fire. It was his own reflection from years ago. The sound of the ball hitting the post, clang, cut through the air. Ethan froze. The noise carried him back to that night, the empty field, the cold wind, and a man in a hoodie telling him that the ball won't listen until you respect the wind. He took a deep breath, fighting the sudden wave of nostalgia. "Hey Miles," he called out. "Come here a second." The boy jogged over, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Yeah, coach? Why do you keep hitting it straight?" Ethan asked gently. "I don't know. I'm trying to make it curve, but it just doesn't." Ethan smiled. "You ever talk to the wind?" The boy frowned. "The wind?" "Yeah," Ethan said. "You have to listen to it first." Miles laughed nervously. "You sound weird, coach." "Yeah," Ethan grinned. "I used to think the same thing about someone else." He placed the ball down and gestured for Miles to watch. "It's not about power. It's about belief. Watch the way you breathe before the kick. Feel which side the wind's on. Don't fight it, let it guide the curve." He ran up, swung his leg, and the ball spun perfectly, curling just inside the post. The net fluttered like silk. The kids watching gasped. Miles' jaw dropped. "Whoa." Ethan handed him another ball. "Your turn." The boy tried again. The ball went wide. He sighed, shaking his head. Ethan clapped once. "Good. You felt it, didn't you?" Miles looked up, confused. "But I missed." "You didn't miss," Ethan said. "You're just learning to listen." That night, as the kids left one by one, Ethan stayed behind to lock up. The sky was orange, fading into deep blue. He stood there for a moment, alone again, the way he'd been that night so many years ago. Only now, he was the one giving advice instead of taking it. He pulled out his phone, scrolled through old photos, and stopped at one picture. A blurry shot of himself as a teenager standing next to David Beckham. They'd taken it after that match-winning free kick. Beckham's arm was around his shoulder, both smiling under the stadium lights. Ethan smiled softly, whispering, "You were right, sir. The wind really does teach you." A sudden voice behind him interrupted the thought. "Still talking to the wind, huh?" He froze. That voice. Turning around, Ethan saw a man standing by the gate. Older now, hair silver at the temples, sunglasses tucked into his shirt. It took him a moment to process it, to believe it wasn't a dream. "Mr. Beckham?" Beckham grinned, walking closer. "I heard there's a coach around here who makes kids talk to the wind. Thought I'd see for myself." Ethan laughed, still stunned. "What are you doing here?" "I'm in town for a youth foundation event. A friend told me about this field, said there was someone special running it." He looked around, nodding at the scrappy setup. Guess they were right. Ethan felt a lump in his throat. I don't know what to say. You changed my life that night." Beckham shook his head. "No, you did. I just showed up." They stood there for a moment, silence stretching between them, but it wasn't empty. It was the silence of understanding, of gratitude without words. Beckham watched the kids' footprints in the dirt. "You're doing good work here. Reminds me of where I started. You ever think about expanding this program?" Ethan nodded. "That's the dream. But funding's hard. This neighborhood doesn't get much attention." Beckham smiled. "Attention's easy. Art's harder. You've already got that part right." He looked out at the goal, the same one Ethan had just used. "Mind if I try one?" Ethan's eyes lit up. "You? Seriously?" Beckham smirked. "Don't make me regret it." He took off his jacket, walked to the ball, and positioned himself like it was 2002 again. The same calm, the same poise. He glanced sideways at Ethan. Still remember how to listen to the wind? Always, Ethan said quietly. Beckham struck the ball. The sound was perfect, that deep, clean thud of contact. The ball spun through the air, curved gracefully, and hit the top corner with a swish. Miles, who had returned to grab his forgotten bag, froze by the sideline, eyes wide. Holy crap, that was Beckham. Beckham laughed, pointing to Ethan. Nah, that was your coach's lesson coming full circle. The boy grinned, holding up his phone. Can I get a picture? Beckham looked at Ethan. You're the local hero here. You take it. They gathered together, the three of them, Beckham, Ethan, and the next generation. The photo captured something invisible: legacy, humility, and the quiet passing of wisdom. Later, when Beckham left, he paused by his car. Ethan followed him to the gate. Do you ever miss it? Ethan asked. The crowds, the cheers? Beckham thought for a second, hands in his pockets. Sometimes. But then I see things like this, and I realize it's not about who scores. It's about who keeps the game alive. Ethan nodded slowly. That's what I want to do, keep it alive. Beckham smiled. Then you already have. The teacher becomes the wind, Ethan. He got into the car, started the engine, and drove off into the setting sun. Ethan stood there for a long moment, the wind brushing his hair. He turned toward the field, where the faint sound of a ball bouncing echoed again. Miles was still practicing. He walked over, watching quietly as the boy tried another free kick. The ball curved, just slightly, but enough to make Ethan's heart swell. Miles turned, eyes shining. Coach, did you see that? It curved. Ethan smiled. Yeah, I saw. Keep listening. The wind's talking to you now. The boy nodded eagerly and lined up another shot. The camera would fade back slowly, a single figure standing under the fading light, watching the next generation carry the same flame forward. The ball rose, spun, and curved perfectly this time. The last sound, clang, soft and pure, echoed through the quiet evening as the screen faded to black. Every curve tells a story. Some just take years to finish.